So gapping or charting the gaps, we have a corridor here. We have a gap cluster sitting here with 3 gaps right around that 372 mark, and then we have our support gap at 360. Now if we go back and look, the price has very nicely traded in this range since this gap was created. This gap was created in pre-market on 1014, gapped up about halfway through, actually gapped up as soon as pre-market started on 1017, and since then we've basically traded within this gap corridor. Every time it was overbought or over the 3 lines here, you have a retracement to the downside, and we are just now approaching that overbought territory. So it'll be interesting to see, and you definitely want to watch for this level here to be tested, the 373.74, 372.98, right around there. So if it busts through this, I would not be surprised to see it retest that 360 level. Now, as far as core logic, if you're going to be playing core today, I would highly recommend waiting until the market establishes itself from a trend perspective. Core, just go with the market. If it's going to be an upside day based on the overall trend of the market, go calls. If it's going to be downside trend day based on the overall market, go puts. A few things to take note of. If you look at the daily, let's go to the Bollinger Bands real quick. So we're sitting on the overbought side of the B bands right now, and if you look historically, whenever we hit this point, about right here or so, we tend to retrace to the downside. However, we are on the bottom end of this trail here, so let's look at a different indicator, MA, MACD. MACD on the 2-hour, approaching that overbought zone, the RSI, and then on the 2-hour, starting to curl a little bit and flatten out. But the real thing I wanted to look at is the super trend, because if you look at the super trend on the 4-hour, super trend is 363.43, which puts us really close to the gap right there. Let's go to the 2-hour, 367.77. So yeah, just I would not be surprised if we see a bull trap today. So just be careful. Definitely watch and wait for core, and then as soon as the market trend establishes itself, I would play in the direction of the market. So again, if market decides it's going to go downside today, play the put side core, vice versa for the call side. So anyways, should be an interesting day nonetheless. I believe Janet Yellen speaks at 11:30 Eastern, so watch out for that as well. That's when I plan to average on my puts a little bit. So that's what I got. And the spread, again, just mark those gaps, and it's really easy to tell where the support resistance will lie. So looking like the spread for today anywhere between 360 to right around where we're at now, and then the next upside resistance isn't until 402 from a gap standpoint. So we'll have to wait and see what happens.